We know our friends from Elizabeth Craft Designs for the marvelous shimmer sheets they make, those wonderful finishes, you remember.
Oh, yeah.
And they also do some pretty amazing cutting dies.
They are amazing. They're called Pop-It-Ups, and we have 3 designs today that are so fun for making accordion and pivot folded cards.
Right, and what I love is what our design team has done with them. Does that sound interesting? Come play with us. Well, here are the 3 that we're going to show today. There are 2 that are the accordion,
right,
and 1 that's the pivot. But we're going to start with the oval, right?
The accordion oval card. So it comes with the cutting dies that create most of what you see here on the front.
Well, shall we show projects, okay?
All right.
So here is the simplest version of using this cutting die. It is you get the shape itself, but what I really think is fun is this pivoting that goes on.
The pivoting and the pop-up that it creates when it does so.
Right. And so you're going to show us how to do that, right?
I am, but I kind of like to show you should I show you the dies and what they look like before?
Why don't you show the package? Let's bring that.
All right.
Here's how it comes. Now, they are nested, but you do need to cut these apart.
Right. You want to use wire cutters to cut them apart, and you want to cut close to those little pieces because they can be really sharp.
Right.
So if I were to cut this out, then afterwards I would have these small nibs on there. You can file them off or you can cut them off as close as you can. So then you're going to get all of these individual pieces, and they create these separate pieces. You're going to get this tiny little heart, this little oval that has stitching on it, a scalloped oval that one will set inside of. And this is actually 2 pieces, an outer oval, and then I placed a stitching oval in the center to get that look. And then the actual poppet design, which is what I'm going to show you next on how you can put together those poppets.
Okay.
So I have 2 pieces, or actually I have 1 piece that was already cut. I want to show you how this one is cut out. So I've got my Big Shot here, my die cutting machine or whatever standard die cutting machine you want to do, and I've got my cutting platform. I'm going to lay that piece down first, lay my cardstock right on top of that, and it's going to cut out all of the necessary spots that are needed to fold and turn and make that poppet that you saw, that Pop-It-Up card.
I do want to say while you're doing that, these are designed by Karen Berniston. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. But the woman, while I don't know her, the woman has a wonderful engineering ability in creating all of these cutting dies.
Oh, it definitely takes some of that, some pretty accurate measurements to make these work, so that they are already ready to work for you. So, okay, put those aside. So here's the piece that it created. It creates this oval in the center with this cutout ring. It creates tabs, which are actually disconnected on the side. That's the way it's supposed to be. Okay. And connected on the top and bottom with a small scored line. It scores it for you right there. If you can see that. So that when this turns, it will fold right on that point. There's one there. There's one at the bottom. And they will turn all the way around like that.
You know, I'm really glad you showed that, because sometimes when you get something that's different, you go, well, wait a minute, that's torn, or there's something wrong.
No,
and
it's cut just in the right spot, and if you carefully fold it, because you don't want it to tear off, then you've got that turn, and then this is a little tab that's going to help you connect it to the next piece.
And speaking of tab.
Right. Here's the long tab on the edge, which is also scored. You can see that score there, so that you're able to fold that and connect it to the next piece. So we've got that folded. I've got another one here that's already ready to go. And this one, I put Ultra Tape on this side right here. I'm going to take that off. So I'm laying this, if I want it to open up like a card, I'm laying this way with the tab on the right. I remove the Ultra Tape. That's my double-sided adhesive that works perfectly with these poppet dies. And if I want just a card, then I can just lay this side on there, If you want to do more folds, you want to continuously have like an accordion folded card, then you're going to use this tab on the right. If you just want it as a card, you can cut this tab off.
Right.
And you just line this along that scored line.
But the idea is to keep that tab on the right.
Right.
Okay.
So there you are. You can either put it on the inside or on the back if you're planning on covering the back. So now I've got that together so the card will fold like this. I'll have that fold. Like I said, we can cut that tab off if we want this to just be a card. Now we've got those pieces in the center. If you lay them flat without turning them, they look like this. But if you want them to fold when you pop it open, then you have to take the center one, or the left side, excuse me, and turn it that way. And then you're going to take the one on the right and turn it the other way. And when they go together, then they're going to, I hope you're understanding that each one of them,
So those tabs are going to, that's going to allow you to connect.
Right.
Okay.
They're going to connect right here. You want them on opposite sides. So if I did it wrong, if I said it wrong.
No, you're fine.
You want them on opposite sides. So now I've got a tab on that side. I've got a tab on this side, and that's going to connect in the middle. So you're actually going to take this piece with Ultra Tape onto the back of that piece.
And then you would trim off that extra piece.
Extra tab. And then you'll have that accordion folded right in the center. It will be like that.
Actually, I think that's really helpful to see it from the top down.
Okay.
Because then, go ahead and,
right
so
there.
you would put Ultra Tape on the back of that tab.
I would, on the back of that.
Yeah.
And then connect those, and then you have that. And if we look at the card, you can see that instruction.
In fact, I'll do the same thing, give you that bird's eye view. So you have an A, and you've got the folding going on and that tab holding them. So the long tab connects the card pieces. The small tabs connect the ovals. And you do need them turning, and that's the accordion fold that you get.
And that's what you get.
Very fun.
Also, if you use the same cutting die to cut out more of these, you can cut out shapes like this for the paper, so you can cover them with paper.
Perfect.
And then if you cut out the center and that long tab on the edge, then you can just place that right on the card, on the inside and the outside, to cover your card pieces.
Easy way to do it. So then you have the stability of the cardstock to make your card base, but you don't lose the ability to have it covered with the patterned paper that makes it so festive and pretty. And what we have chosen to decorate these ovals is with the Christmas Candy 3D paper towel. And so you can see that in this case, we've used the gingerbread man and also the Christmas cheer stamp. And this is what I so appreciate, is that many things are going to fit into these ovals just to really make it versatile. Now, we have not, oh yes, they did. They did the back of them.
Yeah, they did.
So there is the gingerbread lady and another of the stamps. So that's fun.
So yeah, it's another unique opportunity. You do the front and the back, and you've got it coming and going both ways.
So while it's standing up, it's going to look attractive as well as on the inside.
So while it looks difficult, it's really the die takes care of everything for you, and all you have to do is fold, unfold, put it together.
And that's exactly what we like. Let that die take care of it. So this is a regular card as it would fold, of course, with the special version. Now here is a tri-panel one. So we've got birthday boy, and we've got a photograph, and then the dazzles.
So what a great idea! Just to have three like that, and all you have to do. Now you saw me put it together this way. So in this case with the book, you'd have one this way, and then you'd add another panel right here. So then you would have a trifold.
So you're saying these two are the first two, and then you would add one on the front.
Sure.
Okay. And just to show you with the photos and the dazzles, and then on the back side, 3 photos.
Right, and you don't actually have to do the back side. It just
you don't. You don't. But dazzles are going to be another option that you can use. Now, how about more? You say? Do you say more?
More.
How about more?
I want more.
Okay. How about this? Are you ready?
Oh, this is so beautiful.
You make my world go round.
Look at that.
and it goes round.
It goes and goes.
This is perfect.
It is perfect. So just continuously adding more panels. Add another one, add another, and then linking them just on those little tabs right in the center, accordion style, and then decorate them any way you like.
Okay, we have to get into each one of these. So, John, we're going to start with the elephant, my personal favorite.
Right.
Then we're going to our giraffe, the pig, the goose, the tiger, and the horse.
And all of these come from Janie's Carousel Animals stamp set. So lovingly colored in individually with Spectrum Noir pens in a variety of colors, and that bright paper pack is just beautiful.
That is so fun.
It is.
Now the backs of these were not done, just so that you know that there is sanity here. There was enough to do the first, but
they were covered with paper because you've got those die cuts to cut those paper pieces to just cover the cardstock base that was used for this card.
And I hear you. I know people are saying, and don't forget on the back, you see it because it does that accordion folding. So there's our horse, and ribbons have been added to all of these.
Just a little bit of beautiful, bright border dazzles on either side of those folds.
So fun. Absolutely amazing.
So the base was created in this card with cardstock first.
Right.
Those pieces were all put together and one and another back and forth to create a base of cardstock. Then the papers were cut with those same cutting dies and glued on top, and then the embellishments were created individually.
So you can certainly, there's nothing wrong with going just 2, 3, but in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels.
That is a birthday card that's a present for somebody.
If you really love someone,
like
you can do
your grandchildren. They all need these, or your kids, or your best friend's kids.
The other thing I want to share with you is when I think Susan did this one.
No, this was a Debbie.
Was Debbie? Okay.
Yeah.
When she was first looking at, she was thinking, she wanted to use the carousel, but she didn't think they fit. And I said, well, but don't forget, you can have your images go outside of the oval. So as we get in closer, you can see that this little elephant, his trunk is just a tad larger. His feet are just a little bit. Same thing as we're looking, let's see, like the horse in the back. Let me isolate him.
It doesn't really stop the movement of the card.
Not a bit.
Space,
so you don't have to be only confined within that oval. So although several of them fit very, very nicely.
So what fun. That was a labor of love.
That was just great. Now, speaking of which, we now have a label accordion.
Right, an accordion fancy label. And this one shows the pieces that you see here. If you look on the back, you can see this one also. It comes all put together. You need to snip just those tiny little cuts there. You want to cut them off file them off so that they're not sharp. But the main piece is this large piece here.
Right.
I kind of like to show you the pieces
Okay,
that
please
it
do.
cuts out, so that what you're seeing here is what you get with all of those cutting dies. I'm going to scoot this off to show you that. That main part is this. And it also has a little bit of cut work in those dies, so that if you use enough cardstock in there, it will press and make an impression, which it's very hard for you to see on this particular one. I think if I you can sort of shadow. See, there are some
It's hard to see.
work. It's easy to see on suede, which you will see.
Okay.
But this is that same piece that's got that long tab on the side, and it's got that unique little bit of a slot and a little bit of a score line, so you can turn this just like the other one. It's got tabs to connect. And then it has all of these other shapes that you can stack and use for other embellishments that match that shape. There's even a tiny little, like a 4-point star die that you can set on top of any of these and create that cutout.
Looks like, is there some embossing on that too? Or is that
There's a little bit of embossing around that starred edge there.
Nice. Well, let me show you a simple card now. However, on this simple, I'll go ahead and open it. So here we have love, and then we have, this is our hearts, 11 hearts cutting die.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But also, as we get in close, you can see that a piece of the paper was die cut and then embossed with the tiny hearts and dots embossing folder.
Right. So on the inside of, oh, was it paper? I thought it was the cardstock. Let's open it up just a second. Okay, I thought it was the cardstock. That's interesting. Okay, it's the cardstock.
Yeah.
So when you cut out this piece, after you cut out this piece, you take the entire piece, you set it in one of our embossing folders this way, just like so. If you want, well, I have this. If you want the hearts to sit upright, then you set it in this way. You emboss that piece, and then when you're done, you have those tiny little hearts all over it.
Right.
And then a piece of paper was set around the outside to cover up any other embossing that was done on that piece.
Okay, or you could trim that out and just
or trim it out and glue it right onto the front.
But again, that it happens that the love perfectly fits. But if it didn't, you've got enough space on the side that it would be okay if it popped out. In that cutting die, there are also these hearts, so that's where those came from.
Another way to do that would just be to take one of the cutting dies that makes the smaller one and emboss that.
You could do that.
It on top.
But it's pretty having it cover the whole space. And then for the heart, it too amazingly fits, just a little snug there. Jewel dazzle. So, and in this case, nothing was done to the back, so it's all ready for you. So this is
a pretty simple construction. You just fold it, put it together, use Ultra Tape on those tabs.
Right.
That's the best thing to use.
And the Ultra Tape is really going to be your best option for securing it together. Now, we showed you the acetate a week or so or two ago, something like that. But here it is with the with the cutting die cut out of the acetate and using it to create the whole piece.
Isn't that beautiful?
But then pieces of paper over the top. But look how those are fluttering over the acetate. Just a really fun other look.
So I'd like to show you the pieces that were created with that. I'm hoping that you can see it. I think you can see it best actually on the gray background here. So 2 pieces were cut with the acetate, with that cutting die that does the whole piece of the pop-up. And you have one here that has the tab on it and has this piece intact. And the other piece, I did that, but I cut off that side tab because it wasn't necessary. Now I'm going to lay these side by side. On that tab, I put Ultra Tape. I'm going to remove the Ultra Tape. And then I'm going to place this one right on top of it, line it up. And that scored line, they score it. You want to score it again after that tab is on there. You want to go ahead and make sure that line is nice and scored on the acetate a couple of times.
You're just going to fold it?
Yeah, or otherwise it'll be kind of hard to fold. So now you have that piece that's folded. It's got those 2 pieces that will turn in the center. Before you go any further, there are some other pieces that were cut to cover it. So one of these was cut with the pink, or 2 of them, because they're going to be on the outside of the acetate, and 2 pieces of blue for the inside of the acetate. And then I went ahead and put Ultra Tape on there. So let me show you real quick.
That's going to be your best adhesive with the acetate.
So I'm going to take off the tape. And then all you have to do with this is just stick it to the front of the acetate so that it will cover. And then you have that frame on the outside, and then the inside remains just the acetate. I'm actually going to put it with the tab on the left. So that, the tricky part is going to be lining it up. And I'm not traditionally great at that on air.
Well, that's because you're at a different angle than if you were actually working on it.
So hopefully you're seeing what I'm doing. And I just line up onto the acetate. There we go.
Walk it over.
Hey, I think I did it. And then you fold over the back, and that will be taped onto the back, which I don't think I put tape on it.
Yeah.
But that's what it would do. So you do that. Now you've got that front frame around there, and then you'll put one of the blue pieces, you'll glue that onto the back. So
and then you'll go ahead and attach the pieces in the center,
then
just like you did.
Yeah, you'll fold these over, one on the front.
And that's something important to remember is that you fold them before you attach them. That way you're going to get that turning that happens.
So now the turning will happen. They will be, I'm going to remove that blue that's sort of getting in my way at the moment. But, and then those little hinges are going to be folded over and attached right there. So now you've got that flipping motion.
And I think a good double check is going to be make sure it makes an A as you stand it on end. But I thought it was just so fun to use it out of the acetate, and butterflies fluttering, flowers growing, lots of different things will work well.
And these butterflies have beautiful micro glitter on there. If you'd like me to show you that, I can show you how that looks.
You have
done.
that? Okay.
I do have that.
We have done that on a webisode, I think, haven't we?
Oh, sure.
But go ahead. Yeah, nice to do it
so
here.
I've got one of the Dazzles butterflies, and I've got a double-sided adhesive. And I've cut it just to be just a little bit bigger than that butterfly. I remove one side of the adhesive, and now I'm going to put that butterfly on there. Usually that likes to stick to my finger as I'm working, so I'll just hold on to it like that. There we go. Just lay your butterfly.
You actually put the micro glitter first.
The micro glitter first? I thought she did it after. Oh, okay. Well,
you probably could do it after, but I think you'll be happier.
And it sticks onto the micro glitter. Okay, I thought it was done before. My mistake. So I'm going to get something out which I didn't do for the micro glitter.
Okay, you got it.
There we go. And here's the micro glitter. I'm going to go ahead and cover the adhesive with it.
I think the nice part about doing the micro glitter first is that then when you're putting your dazzles down, you're not, you only have one surface that's sticky rather than the double-sided being sticky and the dazzle sticky, but kind of lets you really get that micro glitter embedded into the adhesive.
Burnish it with my finger. I'm going to do the quick method here. Shake it off.
The quick method?
Yeah, I'm doing it quickly. I might take a little more time if I wasn't doing it on
the trick is you really do need to do that burnishing. We recommend 3 times.
3 times.
And
so this is my 3rd time around here.
It feels like you're not making much of a change, but you really are just really getting it into that adhesive.
Make sure that I got all that off.
Okay.
There. Okay. Move that aside. And now I'm going to put that dazzle right on top of there.
Yeah. Scoot down a little. There you go.
That goes right on top of there, like so. And at this point, you can go ahead and cut out around the butterfly. You don't need all this excess, but for our purposes, I'm just going to leave it on there for the moment. And then you color it in just the way you like. So Susan used a couple of different colors. This is from the turquoise set.
And you may want to do a little bit of pouncing because that way it's going to spread a little bit into the glitter, and it won't, if you do the pouncing, it won't get into the nib of your pen.
Right. So that's the way the Spectrum Noir is put on there. After you've cut out around the edge, you can go ahead and remove the back side. I'll just show you. And then Susan went ahead and put more micro glitter on the back.
Oh.
So that it wouldn't be tacky. But you'll be able to see through it as you see on the card.
Or at that point, you can just put it onto your acetate, but you would have areas sticking out, wouldn't you? So, but it's just such a beautiful, shimmery, kind of stained glass effect, if you will.
And it's just perfect with that acetate.
It is. And she's done it on several of these, and then also put some of the dazzles by themselves. So you can see that really nice look. Now, are you ready for a giant unveiling?
Okay.
Okay, here we have Stolen Moments. Now, this is done using a couple of different things. To begin with, it has been die cut out of cardstock, but then it's gone onto the brown suede. So that's giving that rich look.
It does, and with the suede, you can really see there the pressed parts of the die. If you add enough cardstock, you can get that embossing to occur.
Yeah, you could add some shims, but of course the suede is thick enough that it provides that.
Right.
And then as we open this up, look at what we have. This is a timeline.
Isn't it beautiful?
Is how this has been done, almost an album. So it starts out with Stolen Moments. We've got 56, 60 black and white photos, 61.
So it's a progression through time, adding to the family. I just think that's such a neat idea.
I don't know what happened to 64, 65, 66, 67, and 68, but we went from 63 to 69.
That's all right.
And then happy is on our last one. Again, this is sticking out.
And that's with the paper towel. Just beautiful to still the moment.
It really is. Just
beautiful.
Very fun. What a treasure.
That is. That's really fun. And that's that accordion method that we talked about.
Right.
So that you are going to do this on cardstock. You're going to cut several pieces. The suede will be added afterward just as a cover piece. But if you want to start from the beginning, I'm going to show you the way I would put this together. I would start with the tab on the right, and I've got tape sitting on the top there. I've got it ready to remove. Here we go. I'm going to remove the Ultra tape backing there.
Now the Ultra
already stuck on there.
tape that you're using, are you using the quarter inch or the half inch? Okay.
The half inch is just, you can fit it on there just barely. I prefer to use the quarter inch.
Yeah,
It's a little
okay. This
easier.
is what it looks like when you get it. So you get 6 yards in a roll.
And we use it whenever we need a really strong adherence. You don't want to take any chances with these popping apart on you, so that just
Right.
put Ultra tape on there. It takes care of everything. So now I have this with the tape on that side. The tab is on the right. I'm going to go ahead and line this up so that I make this accordion style album. And put it right on the fold, right on the crease line there. On the fold. So now this first part is going to be like so. Then I'm going to take this, turn it over, put tape on the next piece.
Okay.
This is how I make that accordion
That turning
fold
over
work.
is
Right.
okay.
That's very important. So I'm going to line up the next piece right along that scored line, tape it down so that now this one will go the other way. Here.
Especially if you fold it.
Right. So now it's started. You can see that, and that's what I do. The next, then I would turn it over, tape the next piece, so you can
Okay.
see.
So you
that
are
flow.
always turning it over.
Right. That's how it worked for me best.
Okay.
Make that accordion.
And then you're adding the suede on top, if that's your
Right.
choice.
Afterwards.
What I love is the play of the suede, that rich color, and the shine of the Stolen Moments paper towel. And here's that foil sheet. And you can see this is what we use. Stolen Moments is one of the pre-printed pieces, but you can certainly stamp on this. You can do whatever you would like.
Add whatever message you like to add. Maybe you want to put the name of the family there.
Yes, you could certainly do that. Now, happy is with our typewriter, but you can also use it separately as they did on the back side there and pop out the letters spelling happy on top. Those are done with foam tape.
And this in suede was using one of the smaller die cuts to mat it, to get a natural mat there.
So very fun. I think for an anniversary gift, how wonderful this would be. Graduation, going through the years, just any time, a timeline or a series, maybe a child learning to play a musical instrument or a sport.
Yeah, sport. Yeah,
Very
sports
fun.
through the years. That's wonderful.
Just beautiful. Okay, now we've done the accordions. Now we're going to go to the pivot.
The
Pivot is slightly different.
It is. It's just a little bit different. It is in a butterfly shape.
It is.
And where you place it on your card is the key. So I kind of like to show you what the pieces look like with this die cut.
Now, is this another one that gets cut apart?
Yeah, they all get cut apart. Oh, the only difference in here, good, I'm glad you pointed that out. You do cut out the smaller pieces, which are here, and you do cut out the center pieces from this large outer piece, which is connected in the center. You do not cut that apart.
Okay.
That is where you place on your fold of your card. So let me show you what that looks like after.
So basically, you're going to cut any little piece away where you see those little narrow pieces of
but not
metal.
the wide pieces. So you're going to end up with this piece here. There's your cutting die. There's your edge. And when you place this on a card, you've got a pre-fold card. You've got your scored line in the middle. You're going to set those lines, and those are your little guides there, right on the fold of the card.
Oh.
Run it through your die cutting machine just like that. And when it comes out, you have this to look at.
Okay.
Do you want to see what it looks like?
I do.
Here? Okay. Then you fold your card in the middle.
As you normally would.
As you normally would. and the butterfly is going to fold the opposite direction. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, I'm pressing it down so you can see. Yeah, it actually cuts the back of the card a little bit, but it doesn't seem to matter much when you're opening up. It just makes this beautiful
Okay.
butterfly.
And then, how about that? And then you decorate it. So what we've done is to use the smaller pieces.
Right, so
there
here
you
are
go.
the other shapes.
There you go.
This one will sit on top of there. You've got a natural mat or a shaded behind, actually. And then you've got the butterfly pieces, a small butterfly.
The body.
And a flower.
So here is how these have been done. I love the idea of taking dazzles or a stamp and curving along the outline of the butterfly
that was a
wing.
really neat idea. I love the lace borders used here, the lace
Very
dazzles.
pretty. And then as you open this is the pivoting part is right there. So you can have your center the same paper or different papers. We've got...
So now something that is different about this compared to the other dies that we saw. So I want to show you just, if you grab one of the other ones, just any little card. First I'll show you this one.
Sure.
When you open this, you can open this pop up a die all the way and lay flat. When you open one of those,
You can't.
you can't.
Not after you've connected the pieces.
Right. You connect the center and it'll stop like right about there.
Right.
And that's natural to that style of card. This one you can open all the way. So
But they-
just don't break them if you open them too far.
But they're both flat for mailing.
Right.
So that's the same. So you do have this mechanism, is how I like to think of it, in the center, and then you decorate around it. So very fun. Now this was using white cardstock here that's going to match the lacy border dazzles.
Right, and the robin's red papers here,
Right.
which there's no red going on, but you can still see it's beautiful colors.
And then the friends and family dazzles allow you to do that curve so nicely. So that's one version. Here is another where the background of the butterfly has become a mat, and that's been left, and little butterflies are fluttering all over it.
And the interesting part about this, I'm going to take this and show you something. So here you can see the white edging of this butterfly, but on the front you see the paper. Well, that's because before it was die cut, Lene covered this side of the card with this paper. So it's been covered with the Kindred Spirits paper all over. And she even cut this piece and decorated and inked it and put this strip on. Oh, wait a minute, she did that after. Okay, well, at any rate, she covered it with paper.
Right.
Then she placed the cutting die on there with that center piece right on the fold, ran it through her die cutting machine. Then she pushed the lines, pushed the center of the butterfly in, folded it, and did the rest of her decorating.
And that decorative edge that's out here was done with the Design Tool Kit number 2. So this was used, like so, just to get that decorative edge. So it makes a nice finishing touch to this cutting die.
It does, and I love that on the butterflies you're able to pop them up. She put several layers.
She did.
She put 2 layers of that lacy butterfly, and then she put the mat back behind it, so you can really get some layering on there.
That's nice.
Yeah,
okay, I hadn't
Attached
noticed
it with
that.
an embelly right on the center.
And these little butterflies are part of the same
Part
cutting
of the
die.
same cutting die set.
So that's lovely. A little bit of inking or chalking along the edge and on the inside. Now she has added the Kindred Spirits embelly, so you can see that flower is right here, as well as the brads in the center of
And I
the...
love the torn paper down, and that's been inked as well. It's just adds a nice little bottom sort of a border there. Under
It
the
does.
butterflies.
And that going horizontally works very nicely with this one going vertically. So you really have some nice space around here if you choose to use it, or you can trim your card to go right next to the butterfly.
So now we've seen 2 cards that were done the same way, and now we're going to see one that's been done a little differently.
Okay, so here we go. This one has, oh my, this has 3 butterflies.
It does.
Now look at that. Okay, so our butterflies, as I open this up, are loose and fluttering in the center.
There are 3 in there. And I'd like to show you how Debbie came up with this idea.
Okay.
Boy, she's full of really good ideas.
She's been full of it lately, hasn't she?
Full of ideas, that's all. So I'm pulling in my die cutting machine so you can see how this works. But she did start with, my paper's a little bit smaller, but it's the right width here. She started with a 12-inch wide strip that's 6-inch tall. I think mine is actually 5, but we're going to use it anyway. Okay. And she folded it in half. Okay, so she starts with it folded, and she placed the butterfly cutting die on here, not with this part on the fold, like if you did that.
Like you've been telling us to.
Like I've been telling you to. You're going to get one of the cards that we just saw. She actually moved it over until the center of this butterfly was on the fold. Okay? Oh. I'm going to make sure that that stays on there just by using a sticky note, just so I can, if I press that on there, that'll go through the machine. I'm going to fold that up out of the way. And that'll keep it in place while I run it through the die cutting machine. So I've got that ready. I'm going to place that in between here.
And if you're doing what I'm doing and thinking, are you really sure, Gail? That's really how you do it?
That's really how we do it. And I'm going to place it right on there. I'm going to place the cutting platform on top of it, like so. And here we go. I'm going to run it through the machine. Well, we'll see if that's really how to do it.
Okay, we'll see. Did Debbie truly share all of her secrets with you?
I believe she wouldn't hold anything back. No, not Debbie.
And by the way, this will also be in the gallery instructions too.
Sure. Okay, so I've got that. There it is. I'm going to remove my piece that was holding it in place just so I can magically reveal. Ta-da!
Okay.
All right. So see how it is cut, and now when I open it, there are 3 butterflies.
That gives you the 3.
Isn't that wonderful?
It is wonderful.
Right. You might want to. Oh no, I didn't need an extra piece.
Nope.
So that, and here's the piece that works is that these end butterflies, they are cut in such a way that they hold onto that paper. They've got that patented little bit there so that you can fold up and fold your butterflies. Let's see. How do I fold them? The
just
left
like that.
one, like so.
Yeah.
I'm going to pinch it
You're just
right
accordion folding.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
And I do think you have to make sure that that's cut there.
Yeah,
there we go.
It'll separate.
Accordion fold those butterflies all together. There we go. Like so. Okay, and then she covered this part of the card with a piece of paper. She folded it over the front and on the inside, so you didn't have to see that cut out. But that's actually kind of cool.
That is neat. Too. So you can see that here's how she's covered that open area of the card, and the butterfly, she's used the other cutting dies that are part of it, and the body on top, so we'll get in close to show you that.
Right. It looks to me like she put vellum on the back.
Ah, she did.
That was a nice idea.
So again, we can pop those up a bit because she's got multiple layers. And then on the inside, where she covered the inside also with paper, she cut more of the butterfly, so you've got the silhouette of the butterfly in the back of the card.
Right, and up here at the top, she's got the little die cuts of the flowers.
Right.
There's the cutting die that comes with it, and down at the bottom, the die cuts of the small butterflies.
And you can see how they're popping up. When I close the card, the butterfly is also on the back, so on the front and the back. And then when you open it, the third one pops up.
This is one of my favorites.
Very fun.
It really is a fun card.
It really is.
Yeah.
Very fun.
So
Good.
Wonderful.
So we have, as we said, we have the pivot.
We have the pivot butterfly.
And we have the oval accordion.
Oval accordion and the fancy label accordion.
Right. So all of them from Elizabeth Craft Designs, as well as Karen Bernison, who's done a fabulous job.
So have fun with those.